Almost, almost a crazy comeback for the Indiana Fever. Look, that's a game we all look at on paper and say they should beat the Washington Mystics. Though I want to say the Mystics are a better team than they get credit for. They started off the year really, really slow and had struggles in a lot of close games. But their coach, Eric Thibault, did a great job in this one with the backdoor cuts and the strategy and the challenges he used. And there's some talent on that roster. Obviously, Aaliyah Edwards, the rookie, Stephanie Dolson, big girl, spot-up shooter, Julie Van Loo, the older rookie. I mean, there's talent across the board with that Washington Mystics team, and they played a really good game. So first, let me give credit to the Washington Mystics for showing up. Atkins with the 26 points, obviously, that was huge for them. Let me give them the credit first that they deserved and they earned in the win over the Indiana Fever. And in some ways, this was just one of those games. Just one of those games where every bounce went the Mystics' way, even when the Fever seemed like they would get a stop. It could turn into an and one or a putback attempt for Washington. There was just a lot of that in this game. There was Aaliyah Boston getting into the foul trouble. Of course, that's going to hurt the Indiana Fever in any game. Kelsey Mitchell didn't shoot the ball as well as she typically does for Indiana. So she was 0 of 8 from 3. She's shooting 40% from 3 this year. She was 0 of 8 from 3 in this game. So when Kelsey Mitchell goes 0 of 8 from 3, when Aaliyah Boston is in that kind of foul trouble, and when the other team plays the game the Mystics did, you're probably going to lose. Now, the Fever were in a 21-point hole. They almost came out of it. And perhaps the biggest talking point from this one will be the lineup change that Christy Sides made. And if I'm being critical, well, when I saw it at first, the problem is I didn't first guess it enough, so I have to be fair. But let's let Christy Sides speak for herself when it comes to the starting lineup change that she made.
Start the second half, and I'm curious what you thought of starting lineup change and how it impacted the whole game.
Yeah, I don't think it impacted the whole game. That was a coach's decision, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Okay, there goes my next question. I was going to ask you what the thinking was behind making that change. You're not going to answer.
That was just a coach's decision, and that's what we're going to leave it.
All right.
So the lineup change was strange in the sense that it came right after a win over the New York Liberty, right? That stands out. They beat the number 1 team in the WNBA. Then Christy Sides makes this lineup change, which is going to open her up to critique. Fair. And in retrospect, when I watched the game play out, my issue isn't Lexi Hull going into the starting lineup. I think Lexi Hull should be a part of the starting lineup going forward. It was Nalissa Smith also coming out of the starting lineup and keeping Katie Lou Samuelson in there. You know, Nalissa Smith really rebounded her tail off and played really hard in that game against the New York Liberty. So it was a little strange to see her removed from the starting lineup because Katie Lou is a spot-up three-point shooter, but she doesn't move very fast. Where Hull brings some of that connectivity that I've wanted to see from this team. And I think the starting lineup going forward should probably be the lineup that chipped away at that lead. The lineup that beat the New York Liberty in the fourth quarter and the lineup that chipped away in the lead in the Washington Mystics game. That was Clark, Boston, Smith, Mitchell, Hull. That's the 5 in my mind. And then Temi Fagbenle, when she comes back, obviously provides something else that the personnel that are currently there don't. With all that said, Caitlin Clark continues to make history. I mean, it seems like every game she's doing something. In this one, she became the first ever player in NBA or WNBA history to register the stat line that she did in this game. Clark with 29 points, 13 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 3-pointers made, 5 steals, and 3 blocks in the game. I have the link in the description, Women's Fast Break on SI. You can check out the article with all of those statistics in it. There you see it. No professional basketball player has ever done that. And then, there's some highlights in the game as well, like this terrific dime to Nalissa Smith. This is just the stunting from Caitlin, as once again, when she gets the rebound or close to it there, good things happen. She gets out in transition behind the back, and Smith finishes. And Caitlin was just all over the place in this game, running all over the court, doing everything to try to make things happen. And just an incredible overall performance from her. She's the fastest rookie ever, the fastest WNBA guard ever to 20 blocks. I bet you most people wouldn't have expected her to have more blocks than Angel Reese at this point in the season. I bet you most people wouldn't expect her to have more steals than Lainey Hamilton of the New York Liberty at this point in the season. So, like, you're seeing historic stuff from Caitlin Clark right now, what she's been able to do. And she's top 20 in the WNBA in points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals. Top 20 in all those categories. She's the rookie of the year. I mean, clearly, by far and away, in my opinion now. And not just that, she should be in the MVP conversations. I'm sorry, I'll say it. I don't care. I don't care what people say about me for saying that. Asia Wilson is the MVP and the 2K cover person for the WNBA. Congratulations to her. She deserves that. She's earned that. She is awesome. She's the MVP favorite when you look at record, when you look at what she's done. But aside from her, I think Caitlin's right in the discussion. I mean, you saw some of the other great players in the league on display today, the matinee games. Brianna Stewart with a huge block for the Liberty, followed by a huge bucket by Sabrina Ionescu. Nafisa's been out for the Lynx with the plantar fasciitis. But there are a lot of worthy contenders and a lot of great players in the league. And for any of those people who want to talk about, the start time for this game, you see all the kids that can be in attendance for a game like this. And that, I think, was the real reason for it, right? Like, it's not to try and pop a television rating. It's to get kids into the game. And if you're a kid and you saw what Caitlin Clark did, I mean, a lot of you were probably fans before, but you got a lot of new fans coming in as she continues to make history, even if the Fever should have had that game.